for this Locker Cup match between Wigan and Warrington. Traditional opening fixture of the season, of course, 13-a-side. Following on from last Sunday's 7-a-side, where Wigan, of course, were triumphant in the final against Leeds. But different game today. And it'll be interesting to see how Frano Botica particularly goes in a full match. So let's start by running through the two teams today, both weakened sides. Number 1, John Gilfillan. Wigan this is, of course. Number 1, John Gilfillan. 2, Paul Gartland. 3, Dennis Betts. 4, Dean Bell. 5, Mark Preston. 6, Frano Botica. 7, Jed Byrne. 8, Brendan Barr. 9, Russell Bridge. 10, Andy Platt. 11, Ian Gildart. 12, Peter Moran. 13, Mike Forshaw. And the 4 substitutes for Wigan at 14, Andy Gregory. 15, Kelvin Skerritt. 16, Wayne Reid. And 17, Sean Tyra. And their opponents today, Warrington, line up as follows. 1, Mike Wernham. 2, Neil Kenyon. 3, Chris Rudd. 4, Paul Derbyshire. 5, Paul Williamson. 6, Martin Crompton. 7, Paul Bishop. 8, Tony Burke. 9, John Thursfield. 10, Steve Malloy. 11, Neil Harmon. 12, Gary Chambers. 13, Billy McGinty. And their 4 substitutes are at 14, Robert Myler. 15, Kevin Ellis. 16, Tommy Barber. 17, Phil Sumner. And the referee just getting the match underway. A familiar figure on the green turf below us, Jerry Kershaw. So Warrington first in possession. And I'm certain that Wigan are eager to get some nice early tackles in and knock the Warrington men down to what, of course, at this stage of the season is a lush turf. Long ball downfield, pushing Wigan back into their own 25. Picked up by John Gilfillan. Makes about 10 yards, and then 3 or 4 Warrington men sending crashing to the turf. Dennis Betts, back from a successful tour of New Zealand, of course. One of the few tourists who are turning out today. Most of them being given a longer rest after what was an arduous tour of Papua New Guinea and New Zealand. And of course other players are out with injuries, even if they're only niggling ones, with the season only a fortnight away. And for Wigan, the Charity Shield against Widnes in Swansea next week, not wanting to take any chances whatsoever. So Frano Botica, first penalty of the match, kicking for touch. Screws it, only gains a couple of yards, but he'll be thankful enough to see it buried into the crowd. As Wigan come forward now, Andy Platt. Ian Gildart early in the action. Quite a few players, of course, on both teams making their debuts in the first team today. And we all out to put a claim forward for a first team spot once the action starts properly. There's one of them, Peter Moran. And behind him another one, Russell Bridge. Nice move out to the wing. Paul Gartland cutting inside. Promising run inside there. Warrington under pressure, and the chant comes from the crowd to give them support. That kick through collected though by John Thursfield, and a promising attack by Wigan comes to an early end. Neil Hartman, a promising dash of about 5 yards, trying to clear his line. The forwards will want to have a bit of early bite of the action. In the past, these clashes have been over Russellborough Bustad say, but That kick from Paul Bishop brings ironic cheers from the crowd as it goes out on the full. As I was saying, some of the clashes recently have been very robust, and there was talk in the close season of this fixture being discontinued as a result, but we're still here, and let's hope we get a hard competitive match but without any dirty play. John Gilfillan goes down, supporting his attack. Ian Gildart bursting forward, just making a couple of yards though before a hard tackle comes in. Andy Platt. Real workhorses of the Wigan side, of course, these two. Should think they'll be making quite a few forward dashes, quite a lot of inexperience apart from them in the Wigan pack. Although Kelvin Skerritt is on the bench, I'm sure the Wigan fans will be hoping to get a look at him sometime during the game. Paul Bishop wins the ball from the scrum. Warrington with a move up this right wing, but quickly brought to an end with a strong tackle by John Gilfillan on his opposite number, Mike Wernham. Suppose we can expect things to be tight and hard for the first 10 minutes, quarter of an hour. Dare say the tackling machines have been out during the close season, but there's nothing better than meeting a human body. And both teams seem eager for the action. And a nice tackle there by Botica. Little kick through, but well covered by Andy Platt. Undecided, a bit indecisive there as to whether he should give it back to John Gilfillan. Decided against it and crunched down. Plenty of support behind those posts to my right-hand side from the Warrington supporters. Yellow and blue striped shirts clustered behind there. Obviously quite a lot of optimism at Wilderspool for the coming season. And they've won the last 5 Locker Cup matches. So, on past record, there's plenty of reason for them to be massed here today, looking for a 6th success. The record for successive wins in this competition is 7 by Wigan. So Warrington are getting pretty close to that. There's a nice long kick. Takes Warrington into their own 25. The normal thing, of course, is that with them having the head and ball, they gain possession anyway. Let's see if Wigan can strike against the head with this one. No, Bishop comes out with it. Quick break from the base of the scrum, but Botica alive and alert, brings it to an end. Tony Burke breaks one tackle, but down to the second one from Brendan Barr and Peter Moran. That was a pretty hard crunching one from Jed Byrne. Very much a utility player in the Wigan team, as his position today at scrum half indicates. Covered quite a few positions in the back division, Jed Byrne, and hasn't let Wigan down in any of them. Nice long kick by Warrington there. Bishop this time finding the mark, bouncing 4 to 5 yards inside play and out to produce a scrum right on the 25-yard line. And we tend to talk about the two teams being eager for the action. I'm sure that's equally true of Mr. Kershaw. Tend to forget that referees have also been training during the close season and are also eager for a run out and a taste of the action. And I'm sure we'll get plenty of it between these two protagonists. Botica, Dean Bell cutting inside him, but Warrington covering it well. Burke and Harmon. Tony Burke there again, but shrugged off the tackle by Brendan Barr. Nice ball out to Jed Byrne, and Russell Bridge in support is brought down. Last tackle, Jed Byrne again. Out to Preston, can't hold on to it. A few butterfingers from a couple of Wigan players. Knock on, but of course with it being the 6th tackle, is the handover. Bishop to play it. Neil Kenyon coming off the wing for a run. Not making that much progress though, most of it sideways. Paul Bishop coming up on the right hand side, trying to catch Wigan underwards, but it didn't work. Here he is again, Eager Beaver of course, with his half-back partner Martin Crompton. Was a bit of controversy following the final last season with Joe Lydon's alleged defence on Paul Bishop brought before the management committee but dismissed without any action. Of course Joe Lydon missing today. Andy Platt brought down. Russell Bridge making a run of his own from acting half-back. Was a favourite ploy of Graham Law, that of course. Only progress they've made is across the pitch. See if we can get a bit more forward action now from Ian Gildart. Only a matter of 3 yards. And we're back to the 5th tackle. Botica to kick. And Botica there to get the challenge in. Forward pass given though, the crowd getting excited, but they've got to come all the way back for a scrum. Nice run by Mark Preston, but it was only a practice stretch, as the whistle had gone a long time before. So I'm sure Mark Preston will enjoy the exercise, and the vocal cords were exercised by the Wiganers over on the far side. Just a practice run, that one. I'm sure he'll get some real action later in the match as Warrington come forward, having gained possession from that scrum. Bridge going from acting half-back. Just a one-man charge though. Mr. Bishop penalised. Slow getting back into position there. And Botica to kick for touch. Let's see if he can improve on his first one. Certainly does. Must have made about 20 yards, I would think, with that one, and puts Wigan into an attacking position just outside the Warrington 25. Encouraging burst from Brendan Barr. Made about 10 yards. Andy Platt. Back to Mike Forshaw. Nice ball as he went down in the tackle to Botica, who was batting him up well. Right underneath the Warrington post. Jeb Byrne. I look forward from here. And there's the first fisticuffs of the afternoon from Mr. Burke, who complains that Andy Platt had put an elbow into his face. Fortunately, they're on opposite sides of the pack as the scrum goes down, although Andy Platt and Tony Burke were trying to get to loggerheads again, but prevented by both hookers from doing so. Let's hope the ball stays away from both of them for a couple of minutes and gives them a chance to cool down a bit. Bullocking run there, but the pass just thrown anywhere. Fortunately finds a Warrington man. Going up the blind side. Chris Rudd. Tony Burke acting half-back to Bishop. Kicks on the second tackle. Catching Wigan men upfield. Neil Kenyon forced all the way back into his 25. And pinned down with a very good double challenge by Warrington. Good intelligent kick there by Paul Bishop. Gilfillan was over this side of the pitch, and Kenyon, of course, was up in the line, not expecting a kick at that early stage in the sixth tackle. And Warrington made good yardage, and now have a good chance of getting possession from the scrum. So Paul Bishop getting full reward for his enterprise. Scrum collapses, but the ball's already out in the hands of Paul Bishop. Martin Crompton, Paul Derbyshire. Nice ball to Mike Wernham, up in the line, but sent crashing to the turf. Gary Chambers getting it out nicely to Neil Kenyon, but can't make very much progress. Tony Burke seeing a lot of the ball. One of the powerhouse men, of course, of this Warrington pack. He'll be ready for a lot of those bullocking runs as this game progresses. Up and under by Martin Crompton. Gilfillan underneath it, unable to collect it. And 6 tackles as the ball comes off Gilfillan. Collected there by Billy McGinty, alive and alert. Paul Bishop scooting under the post, and he gets there for the opening try. Well, it was the enterprise of Paul Bishop that got Warrington down into the 25. One mistake by Wigan produced the scrum, which gave Warrington possession. And the eye up and under by Martin Crompton. Fumble by John Gilfillan. Collected by Billy McGinty, who'd followed up the kick. And one play of the ball, the gap was there, and Paul Bishop scooted over by the side of the post to give us a scoreline after 15 minutes of Wigan 0, Warrington 4, with the conversion from Mike Wernham. Just about to be taken. And that makes it 6-0. Encouraging start for Warrington and the supporters who are massed behind those sticks. So Warrington open their account, and we restart with a kick-off by Frano Botica. And the first substitution of the match has taken place. Number 17, Phil Sumner on. I haven't seen who's gone off, but I'll try and do a check for you as the game progresses and let you know as soon as possible. Yeah, it's Tony Burke, who's gone off. Replaced by Phil Sumner. Tony Burke obviously done a good tackling job, and now given the chance for a breather on the bench. And Phil Sumner has the opportunity for a run out. As I said, he's down on the team sheet as number 17, but if you actually spot him out there, he's playing without a number on his back. That's a good kick from Wigan. Brings them into the Warrington half of the pitch. In fact, just about up to the 25 mark. Overcast afternoon, but very warm and humid. And I'm sure the players out there will feel the pace today. but it's better than all the training sessions they've had during the summer. A few ironic cheers from the crowd there, but Mr. Kershaw quite happy and wanting to come away with it. Forward charge from Gary Chambers. Dare say Warrington will be quite happy to settle it down in the forwards for 2 or 3 tackles. Won't get the opportunity there as Mike Forshaw snatches the ball out of Neil Harmon's hands, and Ian Gildart goes forward on an individual burst. Russell Bridge breaks through one tackle from Phil Sumner, probably not found his feet yet, having just come on. Jed Byrne in the action again. Gilfillan. Here again his opposite number, Mike Wernham, keeping a very close eye on him. Whenever John Gilfillan comes up to support his backs, he finds his opposite number, Mike Wernham, trailing him. Dennis Betts, Jed Byrne, Botica trying to straighten it up, heading for the post, out to Dennis Betts, inside again to Dean Bell. Botica in support, can't get the ball out, gets it out now. Ball loose, picked up, Botica with it, and that's the handover. Brendan Burr and Ian Gildart tried to keep it going, but in the end Warrington brought the move to an end. They got a bit tied up in that corner. Wigan didn't have much room to move, and a posse of Warrington players camped around that area, prevented them from getting over the try line. And now Warrington with the opportunity to bring it away from their own line. And making good progress downfield through the forwards. And now Bishop with a very handy kick yet again. Well, his first kick went straight out, but he's put about 3 on the trot. Perfectly placed deep into the Wigan half, making plenty of yardage. And 2 substitutes for Wigan. Andy Gregory are making his debut. Kelvin Skerritt replacing replacing Brendan Burr and Peter Moran. And suddenly, with those 2 experienced players coming off the bench, the noise level of the crowd increases. And also a substitution on the Warrington side, Robert Myler. Coming on for Mike Wernham. Knock on given, scrum down. Paul Bishop pushes out to Paul Williamson. He cuts inside from the wing, makes good progress. And very nearly a gap there. Quickly closed down by Dean Bell. So Robert Myler gets his first touch of the ball. Gary Chambers, nice break, out to Paul Derbyshire, but forward pass. Well, the crowd were hoping to get a look at Kelvin Skerritt for the first time today, and he's on with only 22 minutes gone. Botica to Gildart. Bridge to Betts. Andy Gregory. Quickly smothered, but illegally, not allowed to get up. And a penalty to Wigan as Paul Bishop comes over to question Mr. Kershaw about that, but I think Warrington quite eager to make sure that Andy Gregory wasn't able to produce his boxer tricks, and we're dead keen to get him down on the deck before he could do so, as Botica puts this ball down to about the 25-yard line. Bridge to Andy Platt. Gregory. Kelvin Skerritt. Powering run from the new man. Making good progress towards the line. Russell Bridge going on his own from half back, but Warrington alert to that. Gregory misses out two men. I'm sure that pass was meant for Jed Byrne. Missed him and collected temporarily by Paul Gartland before he lost possession. And now the Wigan men a little too slow in getting back for Mr. Kershaw's liking, and the penalty to Warrington. So it's Chris Rudd taking the penalty and making good yardage, about 20-25 yards. And we've got two more substitutions taking place. Wayne Reid and Sean Tyra on the pitch. Replacing John Gilfillan and Paul Gartland. So that's all of the Wigan 17 players who were down on the team sheet at the start of the game now being given chance for a run out. And I dare say we'll see further substitutions later in the game. No restriction on substitutions in the Locker Cup. So I dare say we'll see quite a few to-ing and froing throughout the match, as different players are given an opportunity and also different formations are tried out. In fact, having said that, another substitution taking place immediately. Tommy Barber coming on to replace Steve Malloy. I think one of the hardest jobs of commentating in a match like this is trying to keep on top of the substitutions, because the other thing is that they don't necessarily take place when the action is stopped. But I'll do my best to keep my eyes open for players coming on and off the pitch and keep you informed of them as and when they happen, so that you know exactly which 26 players are taking part in it. Nice ball out there from two of the substitutions. Robert Myler. Andy Gregory quickly bringing Wayne Reid into it, as that ball eludes Mark Preston initially, and Wigan have lost about 20 yards with that move. Botica with an eye up and under, chasing it himself. Well, I thought the ball was not forward, but it According to Mr. Kershaw, it came off a Warrington hand. I was going to say Wigan have 6 tackles, but in actual fact Botica knocks on. Well, I suppose you could call that justice in a way, because I'm pretty certain it was the Wigan man who knocked it forward, and it should have been a knock on in the first place. One against the head, the first one of the match. Now can Wigan take